Prom night was supposed to be the happiest night of my daughter's life, but instead, she almost ended up in handcuffs accused of stalking right there on my front lawn. And the person behind it all wasn't just my neighbor across the street, it was the HOA president, a woman who made it her personal mission to destroy us over a dress. That night turned into the ugliest battle of my life, and it all started with a single knockoff prom gown. My name's James. I'm a single dad raising my daughter Maya after her mom passed away. It's been just the two of us for years, and everything I do is for her. She's a great kid, captain of the debate club volunteers at the library, straight-A student. All she wanted for prom was to feel like a princess. Not just any princess, her own version. We couldn't afford a fancy boutique, so we found this Design Your Own Dress website. We sat at the kitchen table for weeks, sketching, laughing, picking fabrics. She chose this iridescent teal that shimmered in the light blue in one angle, green in another. It was her. When the dress arrived, she tried it on, and I swear for a second I saw her mom's smile looking back at me. So prom day came, and I turned our living room into a mini studio backdrop. Lights, the whole deal. Maya walked down the stairs, glowing in that teal gown hair braided like something out of a fairy tale. Her friends gasped, phones flashing, music playing. It was perfect. For about 10 minutes. Then the tornado touched down. Karen Adams, president of our HOA, stormed across my lawn with her daughter Ashley trailing behind, looking mortified. Karen, 40s, bleach blonde, permanent scowl. She's one of those people who always seems to smell something rotten. She's hassled me about my lawn length, about barbecue smoke, you name it. But that night, she lost her damn mind. Ashley was wearing the exact same dress. Identical. The same cut, the same teal shimmer. Everyone froze like some cruel prank had been exposed. Before anyone could process the coincidence, Karen turned blotchy red and unleashed hell. "Do you honestly think dressing your little welfare project up like a civilized person is gonna fool anyone?" she screamed, finger stabbing the air. "She's obsessed with my daughter, stalking her, copying her every move. Now she steals her prom dress. I'm having her arrested tonight." I froze, stunned at the venom dripping off her words. Maya's face crumpled like she'd been slapped. I stepped in front, hands up, trying to keep calm. "This is a misunderstanding. We designed this online. It's a coincidence." Karen sneered, spitting the word coincidence like poison. "There are no coincidences with your kind," she snapped, her voice laced with that nasty undertone we both recognized. And then she pulled out her phone and actually called 911. Within minutes, blue and red lights were washing over my prom decorations. Kids stood frozen corsages and tuxedos glowing in the strobes while Karen ran toward the cops, clutching her chest, crying stalker like she was the victim. I'll never forget Maya's tears, quiet, streaming down her cheeks, ruining her makeup while this woman painted her as a criminal. The cops separated, everyone wrote up a report, and left us in shambles. The night was ruined. Maya whispered to me, "They think I'm a freak." My heart broke. And deep down, a little voice whispered back, "What if this follows her? What if they believe Karen over us?" The days that followed were worse. Karen twisted the story online. Suddenly there was a smear campaign at school. Ashley's friends posted pictures calling Maya a psycho stalker. Someone even made a fake Instagram account comparing their outfits and hairstyles over the years to prove Maya was obsessed. Teachers started treating her differently. She came home defeated, stopped wanting to go to class. One night she handed me the teal dress folded in a box and said, "I don't ever want to see this again." I wanted to burn Karen's house to the ground, but instead, I promised Maya I'd fight. Then came the letter. A courier dropped off a thick, cream-colored envelope from some high-powered law firm. It accused Maya of stalking, demanded she delete her social media, cut contact with Ashley, and issue a written apology, or they'd pursue a restraining order and sue for emotional distress. I sat at my kitchen table shaking, staring at that letter. This wasn't just gossip anymore, this was legal. And I was drowning. That night, I almost gave up. I thought maybe I should tell Maya to comply, to just write the stupid apology, delete her accounts, stay quiet. At least it would protect her from worse. For the first time, I doubted myself. Was I making things worse by fighting? Then I looked at her curled up on the couch, hollow-eyed, broken, and I knew giving in was exactly what Karen wanted. And if I surrendered now, my daughter would learn the worst lesson possible, that bullies win. So I called in help. My cousin Ben put me in touch with Sarah Jenkins, a lawyer who specialized in fighting bullies. Sarah was sharp, relentless, and when I told her about the dress, the cops, as the letter, she leaned back in her chair and smirked. "This is garbage," she said, tossing the cease and desist aside. "They're trying to scare you into submission. We're not going to play defense, we're going on the attack." Sarah and her team dug in. We gave her the order receipts from the website, screenshots of the smear pages, everything. And then her paralegal uncovered the bombshell. The parent company behind the website was Global Trend Apparel, their head of online marketing for North America. None other than Karen Adams. My neighbor. The woman who started this whole war. She wasn't just some mom throwing a tantrum, she had the keys to the entire system. And she had used them. Sarah traced it further. That design your own dress tool we used, it was built on software meant to block duplicates. The system should have rejected Maya's order if it matched a pre-existing template. But it didn't. Someone with administrative access had overridden the safeguard and pushed it through. Then the next day, another identical order was placed under Karen's own employee discount, shipped to her house for Ashley. It wasn't coincidence. It was a setup. Karen had seen Maya's order in the system, copied it, and orchestrated the entire nightmare to frame my daughter as obsessed. I wanted to scream. Weeks of hell, all from a trap this woman laid with corporate access. But Sarah stayed calm, eyes glinting. "This is it," she said. "This is the nail in her coffin." We set up a settlement conference with Karen and her lawyer. She walked in, smug, expecting us to grovel. Her lawyer offered a generous deal. Maya apologizes, publicly deletes her accounts. We pay $5,000 and they drop the lawsuit. Sarah didn't even blink. She slid a thick packet across the table. Inside was a draft lawsuit against Karen and Global Trend for intellectual property theft, harassment, and defamation. Attached were the order records, the override logs, and a sworn affidavit from the original software designer confirming the template was stolen. Karen's face drained of color. She stood up, sputtering. "This is invasion of privacy." But Sarah's voice cut like a knife. "What you have no right to do. Ms. Adams is steal designs, abuse your position, and try to destroy a teenager's life to cover your tracks." For the first time, Karen had no words. Her lawyer paled, stammering. The room flipped. The power she lorded over us evaporated in an instant. But she wasn't done lashing out. A few days later, my boss called me into his office. HR was there. They'd received an anonymous call claiming I was unstable, involved in a police incident, a danger on construction sites. It was Karen's last desperate strike to take away my job, my ability to fight back. But this time, I was ready. I pulled out my phone and handed them every document Sarah had prepared, the threatening letter, the override evidence, the draft lawsuit. HR read in silence, faces shifting from suspicion to shock. When they finished, they looked up at me with new eyes. "James, we're sorry. You're not in danger here." She is. That was the final straw. Sarah went public. An investigative journalist ran the story from prom night to corporate crime. How a teen's dress exposed a fashion giant. It blew up overnight. Hashtags exploded, influencers called for boycotts, the company's stock tanked. And Karen. She became the face of the scandal. News vans camped outside her house, her own board of directors fired her within days, and her lawyer dropped her like poison. I watched from my window as she screamed at her husband, then a for sale sign went up on her perfect HOA-approved lawn. Everything she'd built, her job, her reputation, her power, it all collapsed. She had laid a trap for us, but in the end she'd dug her own grave. And that's where the story ends. Not with balloons or a family celebration, but with Karen packing boxes in silence. Her shoulders slumped, the queen of the HOA reduced to rubble. The lesson: when someone builds their entire life on lies and control, it only takes one truth to burn it all down.